Now that you know how to use the system, it is time for you to learn how to get your system configured. Because let's face it, people are going to make mistakes when they build the system from the world download. Of course, there's going to be a block-by-block tutorial, which I highly recommend you guys watching. And there is a link in the video description that I will add. And the reason why I recommend watching the tutorial is because the tutorial is not me just placing blocks. It's mostly about me talking about the system and tips and tricks, and so you can learn how to test your system along the way during the process of building instead of testing everything at once in the end. So the tutorial is very important, guys. But here are some tips for those of you guys who want to build the system from the world download, which is, by the way, going to get a bunch of updates. So you really should follow me on Planet Minecraft or join my Discord server for further information. So first of all, the most important thing is how to set up the categories, because you cannot make mistakes here. This is a lot more convenient now that we don't have to care about signal strength balancing, because we can put there items that stack to 16 like ender pearls and snowballs, as well as items that stack to 64 such as paper and most items in the game. But notice how the way I add things to the system is by replacing one item that is already there. So if I want to get rid of these items, I can basically replace those with anything. I can use shears, because shears are non-stackable items. And yeah, these are good because they are not going to get the system broken. So I'm using nice renamed items here, but you can use any renamed item you want. You don't need to alternate colors or anything. You don't need to make it pretty. You can just use shears. As a matter of fact, this is exactly what I'm doing with most of the chests here. See, those are all shears, those are all filler items, and the only property the system cares about is that nothing else stacks with them, so that we can have all of the 54 slots available to us. All right, so if I don't want them anymore, I can just replace these items. See, I'm replacing the items by holding one item with my mouse and then clicking on top of another item. Let's say I want to make a category for rails here. So what I want to do is I want to take these, you saw this snowball there, I want to take these items out of here, and I'm going to place my rails in there, and now this category is set up. But the problem now is, if you look at the chest, there's a hopper behind it, and there's always a snowball here, see? And this one doesn't have a snowball. This snowball is used for detection. This is exactly what the minecart does. When the minecart pulls one item from the chest, the snowball moves places, and then this comparator gets disabled. You can see that the other ones are activated, but this one is deactivated, and then it triggers a category, and then once the items place it back, so see, no categories are triggered because all the comparators are turned off. But if we take one item, let's say the minecart picks up this activator rail, on its way back, it's going to place the item inside this hopper, like this, and the snowball is going to be restored here. So your chest is now fixed, and the snowball is in place. See, if you look down here, you will notice that all of those have only 2 snowballs. And if you break the system, like if you take this item and place it back, you will notice that you're going to get 3 snowballs. So what they're going to do is they're going to try to place the snowball back here, and they're going to get 2 snowballs. So they're going to take the snowball down here and place it back here. So this is not the ideal way of doing it, while instead you can just replace items like so without interfering with the detection. But that is not all. If you make this mistake, you can fix the chest and you can fix the snowball here, but the damage is already done, because unpowering and powering this piece of redstone dust again is going to trigger a category. If you look now at the comparators, something has changed. So these 2 are still locking the categories, but this one is not locking anything anymore. So what happens now is that let's say if something falls inside the first category, this one is going to unlock, and when the items are unloaded, it's going to lock again. But this one remains unlocked, so this will never be fixed by itself. Which is why I added this reset button here. So you need to press the reset button, and now if you look here, the problem is not solved, because we had 2 snowballs here. Every time you make a mistake here, let's see, we place this item here, and then we change it, and then we try to do another change, and then we replace it. So chest is fine, hopper is fine, hopper at the bottom is fine, but we have made a bunch of changes, so we have accumulated a total of 3 snowballs here. So now we have to press the reset button 3 times. See, not fixed, not fixed, fixed. So if all the comparators are fixed and the system is at rest, now your system is correctly fixed. So in order to not cause these problems, you just have to edit your categories in the way I showed you before. I'm going to try to demonstrate how you will do this on a practical system or on a big system, which is a little more complicated to debug. So first of all, you're going to look inside this little window that I left here on purpose. I actually designed this to be visible. So you can see that all the comparators seem to be powered, so it is all fine. So the system should be working 100% fine, no problem there, which is why we are going to cause some problems here. All right, so here's the simulation. If you check the droppers, you will notice that we have 4 snowballs here, another 1 here, and another 2 there. And if you look here, you don't need to check the droppers. Instead, you can just look here, and if you see any of those unpowered comparators, you know that there is something wrong. And what you need to do now is to go to the reset button and press it. But the problem is you would have to press the button and go down here because let's pretend you don't know how many snowballs we have extra outside of place. Yeah, check. Oh, okay, that didn't fix it. So let's press the button again and check again and back and forth. And this is very annoying. So one thing you can do is to build a little device here. So you can go to this side of the circuit and extend this platform. And under the solid block, you can have some rails like so. And you can have a observer facing this way and have a redstone lamp here. And now what you're going to do is whenever you're going to press the reset button, you can look at the lamp while pressing the button. So it flashed. When it flashes, it means that the system hasn't been fixed. So flashed again. So flashed again. Flashed again. Remember, one of the droppers had 4 snowballs inside it. And we don't know how many of those are broken. Let's pretend we don't know. So if you press the button again, it doesn't flash, which means everything should be fixed now. So if we check either on this side, see, no comparator is turned off, or from this other side, from this other end here, you will notice that all of the categories are correctly locked, which means that the problem is solved. So this is an easy way, the easiest way I found for now to fix the problems that you might have if you make mistakes while editing the categories. And this is very important to know because someone else on your server might try to edit the categories and they might make mistakes. So this is an easy way to check for the mistakes and an easy way to fix them. And the other thing I wanted to comment about is that I added this repeater here with the system, because notice here, when we make the mistake, let's take this item and basically place it back there. So yeah, I actually have to take the item away. Let's try again. So take the item. Notice how this is now turned off. See? So if you place the item, if you just place the item back here, it's not going to fix the system because the snowball is still here and this is missing. See, all of these guys have a snowball except for this one. So what this piece of the circuit does is every time the minecart goes on another trip, this activates and sends a pulse here. And by sending a pulse here, we basically activate these droppers here, and this fixes the snowball situation here. So let me run a little simulation here. I wasn't really prepared, so I don't have a redstone block in my inventory, but let's try it now. Place it here, and if I place redstone here, the redstone dust here, just to simulate this repeater being powered. Notice how now this is powered, and if we check here, we now have the snowballs in place. All of the snowballs are going to be on the second slot by default when the minecart puts them back, but if they are on the first slot, this is not a problem, and here this has been fixed. So this is a automatic fixing device that I have added here to help you. And also remember, to expand the system, you need this device here because powered rails can only be powered for up to 9 blocks. And if you run out of signal strength from this repeater here because you have more than 15 categories, you need to extend this by doing so. I will explain exactly how to do this during the tutorial, so don't worry. So to summarize, if you're having any problems with items going to random places or not being sorted, it's probably all the things that I just explained. And now let's talk about another important topic, which is the banner system, which is kind of a crazy system that makes everything simple. Inside it's complicated, but outside it makes everything so simple. So the banner system, I'm talking about the banners inside the hoppers. Those are incredibly important. It's like software inside our hardware here. So you need to make sure that you have exactly one, not more, not less, exactly one slot seal banner. This one that goes first here. It's colored orange because it's color coded, so it's easier for you guys to keep track of things. you're gonna have exactly 17 unloader banners just like these crafted. You're gonna have 15 of those. Normally, when the system is at rest, 15 of those are gonna be inside the minecart itself. Another one always ends up here, and another one is going to be inside this hopper. So those are the only 3 places where you should have the banners at any time. So see, the last one is here, and also we have 3 more different banners, so 3 kinds of banners uh, named slot filler banners. And those are not just color coded, but they are important because they stack to 16 and they change signal strength here, which is responsible for moving the minecart. So it's basically this coding inside the minecart is what allows the minecart to deal with full stacks, because minecart can never have a full stack inside it, because otherwise it wouldn't be able to pick up items from the chest and nothing would get sorted. So the banners, they take care of the situation where we have full stacks. So one item always gets removed, one item always gets inside this dropper, and this system with the 3 hoppers here, by the way, is absolutely amazing because it basically replaces a lot of redstone with 3 strategically placed hoppers, which is hopper logic, and it's amazing. And it also does the, the unloading detection. So when the minecart's done unloading items, it's detected because of the banners. Because of the banners, we can also separate and deal with non-stackable items inside the system. So it does a lot of things. So make sure to not get this wrong. And another mistake I've seen people do is this one. So if you look at these banners, they look exactly the same because their shapes are exactly the same. But if I throw these items on the floor, and yeah, I cannot pick up items because I got carpet here. So let's do this so I can actually stand on the floor. And if you look at my inventory now, at my hotbar, if I pick these items up, you will notice that they won't stack, despite the fact that they look exactly the same. But if you press F3H, you will be able to see the codes here. And the tag says that the code for this banner is black fast over black pale, and this one is black pale over black fast. So these are exactly the same banners indeed, but they were crafted in a different way, which is why they don't stack. So when crafting your banners, you need to make sure to copy the banners so they will for sure stack with each other, which is a problem I've seen some people have. This is a little bit weird that I have a lightweight filler here, and the reason is, in fact, we can have any sort of combinations here. We could have a minecart be like this. And what this does is, because these items stack to 64 and we have only one of them, so one part in 64, this makes the minecart lighter. And when the minecart travels lighter, it travels faster as well. So you can literally make your minecart move a little bit faster by having less items inside the system. But this causes a different problem, because when the minecart is too fast, especially with the curved rails here, we are not able to stop the minecart sometimes. And if we're not able to stop, instead of stopping exactly at this spot, it's going to be nudged just a little bit to the side here. And this is really weird, but I swear, guys, I wish I didn't have to explain these things, but there's going to be a slight problem where the minecart's not going to park exactly here. Instead, it's going to be like this. And when this rail finally gets powered, the minecart's not able to do the final move and go through this chest inside the loader area down here, and this kind of breaks the system, which is why we need to add more weight to the minecart. This is really weird, guys. I'm sorry that I have to explain this to you. So sometimes it works like this. Sometimes you have to make it be like this so you can stop the minecart. This is the one that's going to stop no matter what. Yeah, this one is my way of reaching some balance. This is what seems to work in every direction with the most speed. Another thing I've been trying to get rid of is this honey block here, and this is here specifically to slow down minecart, because minecart comes here with super speed, and once it goes through the honey block, it slows down for sure, because we need to really guarantee that the minecart is able to stop here. Unpowered powered rails are supposed to stop minecarts, but they are not very good at this job, which is why we're going to use the honey blocks here. Some people mentioned that you can also slow them down if you use water, which is a lot cheaper, and I'm trying to make the system cheaper. For instance, in the past, these flip-flops here, they use water. If you press the button, here you can see that this is loaded with water, which empowers these rails here, and we can press the button again to restore the system, and now this rail is powered. I use it to use powder snow here, which is nicer, has nicer sounds, but water is just cheaper, which is why I made it like so. Let's also quickly talk about the item elevators because we seem to have a lot of those around here. So the one problem you're going to have or you might have with your item elevators are items getting stuck inside the item elevators. And you shouldn't get any items stuck inside your item elevators normally. So in order to avoid that, what you need to do is to not have any redstone dust or redstone torches or components in general updating the droppers while they are doing their thing. Because of the way they're built, there's always one block like that's being directly powered, so it's powering the block below it. But guess what? There's this thing called quasi-connectivity, and it's also butt powering this block down here, 2 blocks below. We can simulate this. By the way, this is the dangerous area where you shouldn't have any of these components, which is why we're doing all of these. Apparently, repeaters are not a problem, and this level here is also not a problem because these blocks get updated anyways, and there are ways to check with the comparator and all. But let's talk about this specific case. So let's say we have a dropper above it, and let's say that it has one item inside it, and this is the exact moment where this dropper is being powered. In this case, it's going to be directly powered by a observer, and some piece of redstone dust gets updated right next to it. See, this block's not supposed to be powered, but because of this one, it's going to interfere, and as it sees this block as being powered, it's not going to get powered, so this item is going to remain here in the next cycle, which is how items get clogged here. And this is a huge problem because this breaks the stacks and when stacks get broken, the whole system slows down. If this ever gets inverted, there is a button here that you can use. See if this is unpowered, you can power this. And normally when the system is at rest, this piece of rail here should always be powered on every session here. Another small mistake people do, and usually guys, it all comes down to you building it wrong or missing some components or something like that, especially with the Categorizer Reloaded because it's a mature project. But with this one, it's a new project and I don't know exactly everything about it. I have been working a lot with it. I have solved a lot of the problems, but I cannot guarantee that it is 100% like bulletproof. One small mistake people make sometimes is to invert these comparators here, or yeah, basically forget to expand this these rails down here. But yeah, you need to make sure to check everything on your system. Make sure to check the banners. These are the most important bits of the system. And those are all the little tricks and tips that I can think of for now. I will be collecting any feedback I can from you guys before I actually do the block by block tutorial, and this is also going to be divided into videos because there's just too much here. So there's going to be one tutorial where I can really spend time talking to you about the sorter itself, and another one where I will show you how to add the input system, the shulker box unloader, the bulk storage, the protection filter, the super duper shulker box loader, and other little devices like this, and even the anvil station here, which is just for fun, but someone might be interested. And that's all I know about the system for now, guys. I hope that this video was useful to you guys. Thank you very much for watching, and see you soon, guys. Goodbye. Thank you very much for the support on Discord. Thank you very much for the patrons who have been helping me for a long time now. Thank you very much, guys. See you next time. Goodbye. Be safe. Take care.